Hey everybody, I prefer to stay 100% within coding and what we can do on that aspect as opposed to the philosophical nature of things. But I also do like to get paid too. And I noticed that uh, focusing a bit on the philosophical nature of things does get more clicks. And then so flat out, someone from my channel asked very specifically the question: do I think that AGI would lead to runaway ASI? And then so AGI being artificial general intelligence and ASI being artificial superintelligence. And then my answer to that question is yes, like 100%. I do think that AGI would lead to runaway ASI. But then that opens up scenarios like, do I think that's good or bad? Like, I think that that is up for interpretation and debate in and of itself. But then also too, I think it's up for interpretation and debate. Do I think that will get to AGI overall, right? And so this is an article that came out today, and then so its current AI models a dead end for human level intelligence. Scientists agree. In a new survey, 76% of scientists said that scaling large language models was unlikely or very unlikely to achieve AGI. I think that this is true. I would be part of the 76% of scientists in this category and camp. But I think that also, too, people are getting two different and competing stories and seemingly competing stories. And that's what I want to point out within this, right? So then the other side of this equation, or seemingly the other side of this equation, would be like this paper, which comes out March 25th, right? So 2 days ago. Large language model powered AI systems achieve self-replication with no human intervention. I also think that this is true as well. So both of these are true. I think that it's true that current AI models are a dead end for human levels of intelligence, but I do think that current models are able to achieve self-replication with no human intervention. But there's a missing gap within that. They don't have any sort of desire to do so, and they won't do so. They would never do so without prompting. It's kind of the bottom line within that, right? Even within the scenarios that they all lay out, it's all the model being prompted to do these things, right? And I think that's the big thing and the big worry to me, more than these models going off of the rails and self-replicating themselves and doing all of that. It's a far worse scenario, the fact that humans will be able to do these things, right? AI is in its current form a mirror, more than anything else, right? And that's how I look. AI will progress, and it's going to progress in a way that's going to mirror society, which is why I worry about the future of AI overall, because there's no escaping from that concept, right? Do I worry about the future involving AI and how AI will progress? Yes, because AI is a mirror. Do I fear AI because I fear it will become far more intelligent and hyper intelligent? No, I think I don't fear one. I think that's sci-fi fantasies and plays into all of that, and then but then two, I don't fear that if it was a bad thing. I can't think of scenarios, just being flat out, where I fear intelligence being a more a bad thing overall, right? Raising the intelligence level of society overall, I think would be very good. I think lowering the intelligence level of society would be very bad. To me, it seems a cut and dry equation within that. People's fears, I guess, within that would be that we would be outdated or replaced, and we would be seen as having no value whatsoever, right? I think that is a problem with humans overall, and this is a problem I've been thinking on for a long time overall, right? I think humans need to figure out this equation. What is the value of being a human and human produced products compared to an AI produced product, right? I mean, it should be overall there's a difference between organic and inorganic, right? Or cage free. We already we have lots of distinctions for these things in regards towards products, and then if we want to continue down this capitalist path, which it's what society's built on, right? Then we need to have a way that builds in like kind of like that like cage free or organic for humans, right? Like human made compared to like AI, right? And then there's a premium placed and paid for just for human interaction as opposed to AI interaction, and human production as opposed to AI production. And it should be that like the value of human production is just inherently more, right? Like I mean, it should just be like the in an economic system where the human is dependent on the economics of the system far more than the consequences of the AI. Like at this point and in any moment in time, I think that like any fair economic system should say that like it's fair that human value is outweighed and is inherently economically more viable than AI output. Like I don't like the only people that would argue against that I think would be uh, like people that want to be like Lex Luthor. Like I don't know who else would argue against that overall. But so within this, going back to the original concept of AGI turning into runaway ASI. So the lacking mechanism within that, right? And then what we see within all of this, and all of this is points to kind of to me the hidden mechanism that is missing within this is desire, right? And then what is desire and what triggers desire, I don't know. Like that's the bottom line, right? So that's step one. Like I think we're missing two. Going back like a few days ago, there was a article that came out where the gentleman said that like we're like 3 to 5 miracles away from like actually like AGI and like actual progression. I agree with that, right? And then so what are those 3 to 5 miracles? One of them is generalization. Like how do the models generalize? And then secondarily is specifically tied to what we've just been referring to in this instance and diving deep into. And I think when you put these, like both of these concepts together, overall, you get kind of just a big picture of what is missing within this general picture and kind of like what is lacking with moving AI forward in this particular instance. And then, but so going back, like I think the third equation and like the big thing that I started off with on this, right, is that current AI models are a dead end for human level intelligence. Scientists agree. And then so like to me it goes back to that first concept that I mentioned, generalization, right? And then generalization and desire. And then so within generalization we still don't understand what exactly causes generalization overall. Same with desire, right? So both of these things are the two things where we don't have full understanding of what the exact mechanisms are within it. Like, what's the go mechanism? Does AI already have does AI already have desire? That's a question, right? There's people that would argue and say that AI, we've already crossed the threshold within that. To me, like from everything that I see, every single test that I've ever seen, like we have not crossed the desire threshold. And then, but like the next, like, is AI like a form of intelligence? Like, sure, yes, but like, is it a form of intelligence that can generalize? And then to me, I think like, yes, it is a form that can generalize, but we don't understand what the trigger is, right? And I think I kind of flip this on its head when I think about this, because I think we don't understand what the trigger is for generalization very specifically, because humans are not that good at generalization in and of themselves, right? Like, so if we take generalization as a general scale and we say generalization is 0 to 100, humans aren't 100 and AI isn't like a 0 or a 1, right? I'd say that like humans are, we'll call it like a 15, and AI is like, we'll call it like a 2 or a 3. And I think that's a good placement overall on the scale, right? And then so a lot of work to do on both ends of that equation overall. But I don't think that humans are like near the upper end or echelon of that. And then I don't think that it's like the other thing that brings up in my mind is I don't think it would actually be possible for a system to be fully generalized in that instance. And then so to me, that's very significant within this equation, right? And then what it means is like I think that we oftentimes misinterpret or mislabel what intelligence is overall within this entire debate. Like a dog is far more intelligent than a human when it comes to its sense and ability to interact with the environment via smell. Like it is more intelligent than humans on every level, right? And will never be able to compete. Like you can take a dog in a car, like drive it zigzag and off and like drop it off like a mile away, and it would be able to find its way back and like no problem, right? And it would just be through scent. And then like you can also do that, like we can take that same concept and let's say like bats with like echolocation, right? And that would be another avenue of being able to interact with the environment in a way that like humans would never be able to like just replicate overall, period. And then so these are two aspects of intelligence that are still like valuable in their own instance, right? And then so even if like AGI is able to go and like build itself into ASI, and that like fantasy does come true through any sort of instance within that, the equation would still be, and the blocker would still be that it wouldn't be able to fully generalize. What, right? Like, would it be able to build itself up to 100 on that generalization scale? I think no. I think there would be blockers within that are inherent that would still be limitations that would say no, like nothing can achieve that overall. And I think it's just inherent blockers that exist overall within that. And then so I think overall, I generally don't, like talking on this subject and these types of things because it's to me like hype and all of that. But there is like, papers like this and then a lot of research coming out within this kind of like hyping up this area and this aspect, right? Like that, like, are we at the point of self-replication with no human intervention? And then like, yes, we are, but then like, it's like, yes and no. It's the problem is that like this statement here and like the last kind of argument within this is that it doesn't answer and it ignores Surl's Chinese room argument, right? And then so Surl's Chinese room very specifically deals with, let's say that you have like a translator and you put them into a room and then the person doesn't speak Chinese, but they have a cipher in front of them, and then you pass them in Chinese, and then they're able to utilize the cipher and able to match it up, and then pass the note off and then via the cipher like outside and answer it, but they have no internal understanding whatsoever of what the note is, right? They're just utilizing the cipher in that instance. And then so in this within that, it's this same type of equation, right? Just because the physical process is able to exist via compute, that's the only thing that has been able to be achieved within that. But it's still the human desire to do so, right? The human has to prompt it out, is the missing element within that still. And I think that's a bigger gap than people want to account for. I think a lot of people think, it's easy to solve. It's been easy to solve for 50, 60, 70 years, and we still haven't solved it. So here we are with that, right? Like, so it's not as easy of a problem as it seems on first glance. And like, we don't have any direction whatsoever as to how to move that forward. So just highlighting that overall. And then so there you go, is my thoughts overall on answering the question of, do I think that AGI would lead to runaway ASI? If you like this type of content, please like and subscribe. Thank you very much.